The animal. I love my husband, but I hate sex, and that creates conflict. Isn't sex animalistic? It's. But man is an animal, as much as anyone else. However, when you say that the man is an animal, it does not mean that the fact that man is an animal is an end in itself same, for he can be more than the animal, just as he can be less too. This is the glory of man: freedom and danger, agony and ecstasy. The man can be all right inferior to animals, just as it can be far superior to gods. The man has an infinite potentiality. A dog is a dog, he remains a dog. Dog is born and will die puppy. A man can become a Buddha, just as he can become an Adolf Hitler. Or that is, man is quite open from both extremes, and can even go backwards. Is it possible to find any animal more dangerous or crazier than man? Only think of the following scene: 50,000 monkeys sitting in a stadium, killing small children, throwing them into the fire. What to think about them? Thousands of children are being thrown into the fire. A huge fire is burning in the middle of the stadium, and 50,000 monkeys are having fun, happy, dancing, and children are being thrown. Their own children. What to think about these monkeys? Did they go crazy? But this happened in humanity. This happened in Carthage, city of antiquity, located in North Africa, where 50,000 men burned children. 300 children were burned at once as an offering to their god. Your own children. But forget about Carthage. It is a distant past. What did Adolf Hitler do in the last century? Of course, as it was a very late century, Adolf Hitler was able to do things bigger than Carthage. He killed millions of Jews, thousands at once would have been forced into gas chambers, and hundreds of people would have looked outside, watching through fake mirrors. What is there to think about these people? What kind of men? People being gassed, burned, evaporated, and others watching. It's possible to think of animals doing such a thing. For 3,000 years, man went through 5,000 wars, and killed and killed and killed. And how does anyone say sex is animalistic? Animals have never done anything more animal than the man. And does anyone still think that man is not an animal? Man is an animal, and the idea that man is not an animal is one of the obstacles to its growth. Therefore, whoever believes that man is not an animal will not be able to grow up. The first recognition should be the following: I am an animal. I have to be alert and go beyond that. That's what happened in this case. A man wrote to a country hotel in Ireland to ask if it was allowed to have a puppy. Received the following response: Dear sir, I have been in the hotel business for over 30 years. I never had to call the police to expel a rowdy dog in the wee hours of the morning. No dog never tried to write bad checks. Never has a dog set fire to clothes from bed for smoking. I never found a hotel towel in a dog bag. Your dog is well coming. P.S. If he can testify on your behalf, you can come too. Animals are beautiful, whatever they are simply innocent. The man is too cunning, too calculating, too ugly. Man can descend to a lower level than the animals because it can rise higher than man, superior to the gods. The man has an infinite potential. It can be the inferior, and it can be the superior. He has the complete ladder in his be, from the first to the last step. So the first thing I would like to say to you is, no, it must be said that sex is simply animalistic. It's possible, but it doesn't have to be. It might be higher than that. It can become love. It can become a prayer. It depends on each one. Sex itself is nothing like a fixed entity, but just a possibility. You may do it how you like it, how you want it. This is the complete message of Tantra, that sex can become samadhi, cosmic consciousness. This is the view of Tantra, that sex becomes samadhi, that it is through sex that the ultimate ecstasy can enter the individual. Sex can become a bridge between the individual and the ultimate. Some say, I love my husband, but I hate sex, and that creates conflict. How is it possible to love your husband and yet hate sex? This is more like a pun. How can anyone love the husband and hate sex? Just try to understand the question. When a woman loves a man, she wants to hold his hand also. When a woman loves a man, she sometimes wants to hug him too. When the woman love a man, not only want to hear his voice, but I also want to see his face. When the woman you only hear the voice of your beloved, and the beloved is far away, the voice is not enough. However, if a woman can see him too, she is more satisfied. When the woman touches it, it certainly stays still more satisfied. When a woman tastes a man, she is certainly much more satisfied. What is sex? It's just a meeting of two deep energies. Many people possibly carry some taboos in their minds, as well as inhibitions. What is it, sex? Just the meeting of two people at the peak, that is. Not just holding hands, no just embracing each other's bodies, but penetrating each other's energy field. Would anyone hate sex? Their minds must have been conditioned by the Mahatmas, the so-called religious people who poison humanity as a whole, who they poison the very source of human growth. Why would anyone hate it? If the woman loves her man, she wants to share the fullness of her being with him. There is no need to hate. And if you hate sex, what do you mean? You are simply saying that wants the man to take care of her financially, to take care of the house, to give her a car and a fur. So, what the woman wants is to use the man. And you call that love, and don't want to share anything with him. When you love, you share everything. When you love, you don't have no secret. When someone loves, he keeps his heart completely open, and he is available. When someone loves, he is always ready to go with the loved one to hell, if he is heading there. But it happens. Women are very good with words. They don't want to say no, they do. And that's why they make it look like they love men but hate sex. The sex, it's not all about love, it's true. And love is more than sex, it's true. But sex is the basis of love. Yes, one day sex disappears, but hating it is not the way to make it disappear. To hate is the way to repress it. And everything that is repressed will come out in one way or another. Please don't try to become a monk or a nun. Remember, sex is natural. One can go further, but not through repression. And, in case the sex is repressed, sooner or later the individual will find some other way to express it, being subject to the entry of some kind of perversion, since it will need to find some substitute. And substitutes don't help, can't help. And once a natural problem has transformed in such a way that the person forgets of that, and that it has arisen somewhere else as a substitute, it may be that the person keeps struggling with the replacement, but it won't solve the problem. Substitutes are never the solution. They only create perversions, obsessions. You have to be natural if you want to one day go beyond nature. Be natural. This is the first requirement. That doesn't mean there's nothing but the nature, for there is a higher nature, which is the message of Tantra. But the man must be quite mundane if you really want to climb high into the sky. Can't you see the trees? They are rooted in the earth, and the deeper their roots go, the higher they will rise. The higher you want to go, the deeper you have to go into the earth. If a tree wants to touch the stars, it will have to go and touch hell itself. That is the only way. Take root in your own body if you want to transcend. It is necessary to be rooted in the sex itself if you want to actually become a lover. Yes, the more energy that is converted into love, the less need for sex to be there. But that does not mean that the individual should hate sex. Not hate, it's a right relationship with whatever it is. Hate simply shows that the individual is afraid. Hate just shows that there is great fear within. Hate only evidences that deep down the individual still feels attraction. If the individual hates sex, it's because his energy starts moving somewhere else. Energy has to move. If God gives man sexual energy, it becomes sacred. Anything of God is sacred, and everything comes from God. And by God, I don't mean a particular person, but existence as a whole. Have you ever wondered what the cuckoo's goal is when it starts to sing? It's to attract a sexual partner. But no one condemns the cuckoo's actions as obscene. When the flowers open and exhale their fragrance, what do you think they are doing? They are announcing, I came to bloom so butterflies and bees are invited and are welcome. But why? Because the flower has little seeds that butterflies and bees carry with them. Because the same division exists throughout the existence. There are plants that are male and there are plants that are female. The male plant has to send his seeds for the female plant, his beloved. Have you seen the peacock dance? Do you think he dances for show-off to the public? And notice the beautiful rainbow-colored tail and the peacock costume dancer being male. He wants to attract some females. It is only in insane humanity that the female must attract the male. In nature as a whole, it is the male who attracts the female. And that's why throughout the nature, the male is more beautiful. The female does not need to have any beauty. Being female is already enough. But it is strange that man has been continually contradicting the idea. Is the male which must be prettier for a female to be attracted to him. However, religions have made a mess. To such an extent that seeing a rich man walking with his wife, the perception is that he looks like an employee, and the wife looks like nothing more than an advertisement for his riches. All diamonds, all emeralds, all rubies, all gold. Everything is an advertisement for man. He's just a businessman. Having a beautiful wife is a business strategy, so that the man will be able to invite his customers for dinner at home, and his wife will mesmerize them with her beauty, when then he can bill on them. But the man became just a servant, a businessman. Your riches are known through his wife. His personal riches, his beauty, his genius from it has to be kept hidden. Every time you upset nature and start making your own rules, remember that it is a crime. An unpardonable crime. The man, unless he meditates, is going to go crazy after women. And the man finds meditation harder than the woman. Experienced mothers who have already had 2 or 3 children are able to know if it is a girl or a boy that they carry in the womb. Once the girl keeps silent and the boy starts playing football, kicking here and there, girls are able to go deeper into meditation. On the one hand, you can go deeper in meditation. On the other hand, your sexuality is negative, not compulsory. I stayed marveling at the experience of living among all kinds of monks and nuns, as nun monk is celibate indeed, but nuns are all celibate. They manage to be celibate. They are not men of uncontrolled sex. In addition, nature has provided so that, each month, your sexual energy leaves the body automatically, so they are clean again for a month. But the man has a difficulty. Your sexual energy can be dominated by just one deeper meditation. So then, he doesn't get mad. Unless you meditate deeply, the man will not be able to transcend his sexual madness. The student parade had turned into a riot. Suddenly, a man staggered out of the crowd carrying a fainting girl in his arms. "Here!" shouted a policeman running up to the man. "Pass her to me. I'll get her out of here." "Go to hell," replied the man. "Go find one of your own." Even in a riot, when people are being killed, shot, the mind of the man keeps thinking about sex constantly. Sex is man's greatest slavery. One has to make every effort to meditate, so that all the sexual energy, instead of scrolling down, starts scrolling up. Instead of finding a beautiful woman, the man must begin to create a beautiful man within himself. Instead of finding a graceful woman, his energy can make himself graceful. But the man is more stupid than the woman. The whole story is made by man, and that's where you can see the madness. It's a story not from humanity, but from madness, wars, rapes, people burned alive, undoing. A couple took their young son to the circus. During the gorilla's performance, the husband had to go to the bathroom, and while he was away, the boy nudged his mother and asked, "What's that long thing hanging between the gorilla's legs?" The mother felt embarrassed and quickly replied, "Oh, that's nothing, darling." When the husband returned, the wife went out to buy popcorn, and while she was away, the boy nudged his father and asked, "Dad, what's that big thing hanging between the gorilla's legs?" The father smiled and replied, "That, son, is his penis." The boy looked confused for a moment and then commented, "So why did Mom just say it was nothing?" "Son," said the father proudly, I got used to your mother badly.